Good afternoon. This is Veterans Talk. It ain't nothing but a thing. But it's a thing we want you tuned into every Saturday afternoon. I'm Elsa McGee, your host, and I'm here today with my sidekick and my partner in crime, Tony. How you doing, bro?
I'm good. How about yourself?
I'm blessed today, man. I'm blessed more today than I've been in a while, even though I'm back. We're back and took some of this weight off of your shoulders. But we're here today with our commissioner, man.
Yes.
Fulton County. Marvin Arrington Jr. You know what? My brother-in-law was good friends with his dad. He would say, "That's Bowleg's boy." So you can expect good things out of him. And I want to say to the veteran community today, we got a commissioner that listens and does things for veterans. The Veterans Service Program is going into its third year, and it is connecting things in the county that's going to change the landscape. Thank you, Commissioner, for taking time to be with us today.
Oh, my pleasure. Thank you for inviting me.
You know, we want you to just talk about some of the things that you're doing in the community, not just with veterans, but for the Fulton County community. Because we look at your website, but everybody don't.
Well, we're doing some great things in the community, but most proud of, like you say, the Veteran Services Program that we got started. That's going into its third year now. $1 million a year going towards organizations, community, nonprofit organizations that serve our veterans. Our veterans are the reason that we have the freedom to walk around and do the things that we want to every day. And so it's important that we do what we can, or at least do something to try to help make sure that they have the resources to connect them to the opportunities that are available for them to take advantage of. And so glad certainly to have you serving on that on that committee to help decide which programs, right? Because veterans know best who's out there actually helping people, right? And so just so glad to have you all involved in that. And glad about, obviously, the Sons of Atlanta Memorial Project. We just finished our Black History Film Festival, where we did an essay and film competition for high school students. And so we gave awarded winners for the best film and the best essay. And the topic we do every year, Rev. McGee, is tell us about your unsung hero, right? Because we all know and love Dr. King and Rosa Parks, but there were so many other individuals that contributed. And so we're trying to be very intentional about challenging our students to dig a little deeper and to tell the stories of a Claudette Colvin, the stories of a Barry Rustin, the stories of John Brown, right? Harper's Ferry, right? So those untold stories are the ones that we're challenging our students to go research, find out about, and then either do a written essay or produce a short film in regards to their favorite unsung Black history hero.
And when you say that, what it reminds me of what the show we did on your dad, right? And a lot of people don't realize, but he guided city council. If anybody I want to take credit for helping build Atlanta, Georgia.
Yeah, really?
I'm talking about build it. I'm a son of Atlanta. That's why I can say this. I know what I'm talking about. I grew up watching these folks, right? We got some heroes in your dad, and I talk about Michael's dad. We got heroes that unsung, because people don't know what it took to make everybody talk about how great Atlanta is now, right? Who built Atlanta? Who made it like that? I can talk about this because I'm a son of Atlanta. And we did a show for your dad, and we was talking about that, how all of a sudden these sons of Atlanta are just popping up doing stuff for the community. And we got to be reminded of that because, like you say, we know the Dr. Kings and all of that, but what about these technocrats that built the city of Atlanta? No other president of Atlanta City Council had guided stuff the way Marvin Arrington Sr.
Yeah, he definitely made his mark. And that was the title of his book, right? Making My Mark.
Yeah.
He was first elected in 1969, took office in 1970, served on council until 81, and then he ran for city council president. When he first took office in 70, it was still the Board of Aldermen. It wasn't until later that they changed it over to Atlanta City Council. And then in 81, he ran for city council president. And then served for city council president from 81 through 97.
Probably longest.
Longest 16 years as city council president. So all through the 80s and 90s, was credited with helping save Zoo Atlanta,
Building Atlanta,
working on the Olympics, and I mean, virtually everything. He was city council president through Maynard, through Andy, through Maynard again, and for 4 years under Bill Campbell. So that's an extended period of time, and he was the one constant for the city, despite the fact that there may have been different mayors or someone else or other council members. He was the one constant. I was telling someone the other day, he loaded the bases. All I got to do is hit a single. I can get 2 runs in if I hit a single.
See, and that's why we believe that this Sons of Atlanta project is going to highlight the contributions of those that, that didn't make it back from a war that we shouldn't have fought.
Right.
I reminded people that Michael's father, Julian Bond, lost his seat for a minute, didn't he? Because he was telling the truth.
Right.
Speaking
out against it.
Against the wall, because they knew what it was going to do, and they did what they was going to do, and it took all of these years for it to start pulling out in a way that some of these folks, you got a lot of great Vietnam veterans that help run the city of Atlanta too, man. Pennington, Chief Pennington, And then I still talk with Ted Jackson. I tried to pull him out of his retirement. He told me he was retired. Don't call him no more. No, he didn't tell me that no more. So if you're watching, I'm lying on him, man. I ain't gonna do that. I'm a preacher. But we are so grateful for the contributions that we can make to our community, and the leadership that you provide now for this next generation of young folks that's looking at you and seeing what you can do, what you're doing in the community to make it better, especially in this multicultural, multiracial democracy. A lot of people don't have enough appreciation for it, but when we talk about the call for unity among for these young people, the 240 plus that died in Vietnam, we want to remind everybody that most of these young men died before they were 21 years old. That means that they never had the right to vote, but they served so we would have the right to vote, that we would have a country to vote for. With the potentials. They see us sharing in this global empire. The opportunities that this city offer us. Everybody come here. It's amazing. There's no other place like it. I guess everybody say, we know you love Atlanta. We love Atlanta because this is our hometown, and we start thinking about what we can do with the resources that you put together for the Veteran Service Program in Fulton County. It's an amazing opportunity for veterans, because without this program, they will not get the message that they're about to get now about the PAC Act and the expansion of the PAC Act, which the Biden administration did. It offers Well, Kenny is in the audience today. You know, he's a Georgia born and Georgia bred. He's a son of Atlanta. He didn't leave the country. He did his time at Fort Gordon, Georgia, which is our military base. It's contaminated. It's been contaminated since Vietnam. He been fighting for his benefits. I know since 2016. The expansion of the PAC Act been to get him his benefits that he wouldn't have never got except for what we're doing with this program.
And that's why, you know, who we put in office is so important, right? Because small decisions like that, me being able to convince the county commissioners to put $1 million towards veterans in Fulton County, President Biden expanding with the PAC Act, small decisions can have a huge impact on someone's life and their livelihood, right?
And their livelihood.
And their dignity. And if you've been serving our country, there's no way you should have to be here fighting for your rights or to get the benefits that you are entitled to. So I'm certainly glad that President Biden got that PAC Act passed.
Yeah, I mean, and that was in opposition to a lot of the people that call themselves Republicans, right? Jim called them goopers for Putin. But anyway, I ain't got no business saying that. We had to talk about what we're doing in Fulton County today because, see, we got to wake Fulton County veterans up. You know, they know that these resources are available now. So many of us, and I can understand, have been denied, and so much they just don't believe that these things are possible. But they're possible now. You know, right now, the Camp Lejeune issue. We filed. I got our first case out of the chapter last week for Camp Lejeune, and our community need to know if some veteran in your family has died of a condition that's recognized by the Camp Lejeune Justice Act, they can still get benefits even though they lost that loved one. We need to let them know that. And the PAC Act is the same way. If you got a loved one that has passed because of a heart condition that was due to Agent Orange, or diabetes that was due to Agent Orange, or cancer that was due to Agent Orange, we can get the benefits for the family if he had a surviving spouse or a minor child. So we need the community to know that because these are resources that should be coming to Fulton County residents, veterans.
Yes.
And we want to make sure that, and you gave us the platform to do that.
Well, hopefully I'm excited about what you were telling me earlier, getting with the mayors of the other cities and, you know, doing it from a grassroots level in those cities, because it's one thing for Fulton County to do it. It's another thing for each individual city to adopt it themselves. And to help spread the word and other nonprofit organizations and radio and media. We need everyone to help get this word out to make sure that, as you stated, not only our veterans get the benefits, but that their families, right? Because their families serve with them.
Yes.
You can't do anything without your family.
You can't do anything without your family. And that's what we used to realize in the community we talked about. Tony liked to talk about how we was community at one time, especially during segregation. We had to be community. We kind of lost that a little bit, Tony, because we need to get back. And I'm going to say this. I'm so glad that Concerned Black Clergy is a part of what we're doing. It has allowed us to, to be the chair of that Veteran Affairs Committee. Now we're going to the churches to make sure they tell their veterans and their families sitting in their pews every Sunday, listen, are you getting your benefits from VA? If not, you need to talk with, people that Concerned Black Clergy, and we'll make sure you get the information you need. This is what community has come back to. Why? Because of the Sons of Atlanta. When we talk about the Sons of Atlanta, we're not just talking about those that was in the military. We're talking about all the Sons of Atlanta that have contributed to the growth of our community. And we want them to come out now to be a part of this Sons of Atlanta stuff, because we're going into these communities where these guys came from. And we got to remind these communities every graduation year, we still have young people from these communities going to the military. My grandson right now, out of Mays High School, he's just got to be at E7 in the military. So we got to value these young folks that we're sending into and we got to understand too, some of them are coming home and dying, of cancers, and they don't even think about it. Did it come from the military? The military is telling them now that it's coming from the military, because these bases are contaminated, and we need the families to know, so that when they lose a loved one that they have sacrificed the military service, they'll know that there's some benefits to them.
Yes.
So that's what you done. See, so that's why we show everybody in this calendar. When we talk about serving the community, there we are.
It took a little while. It took a year or two longer than I wanted to, but then we finally got the $1 million. And then once we got it, we hadn't stopped. We hadn't turned back. But that is because of the great work that you guys are doing, right? Because it doesn't do us any good to get the $1 million and not have people in place to help distribute it to the right groups and right people that are serving our veterans and making sure that they get the access and the education that they need. My hat is off to you all. I'm just happy to play a small little part in making sure that we can get it done. Again, I say, that's what I'm there for. I'm blessed to be in this position to be able to try to help others, and so, as my mom and my dad taught me, to whom much is given, much is expected.
That's right.
And so, there, but for the grace of God, go I.
That's right.
Right? And so where you see someone today, you might be there tomorrow. So if you're in a position to help today, then you need to go do that. And, the one thing I always like saying is no one can help everyone, but everyone can help someone.
Everyone can help somebody.
And if everyone helps someone, that's the only way we can help everybody.
That's right. And we are so, Tony, I know you've been sitting here now talking, trying to listen to me, trying to stop me from talking, but you want to talk a little bit about some of the community stuff that we've been doing and how we are moving forward.
Yeah. Thank you for giving me a bit. But there are just so many different organizations that we are helping. You mentioned the funds that are available. Those funds not only just help veterans and their families, they help the community. This is not something that goes only to the veterans and their families. Guess what? Those funds are distributed and spent within the city, so the city of Atlanta benefits from anything that we're doing. All of these programs are like you said, designed for the veterans, but the veterans live in the city. And those veterans are going to benefit from that, and they're going to share those benefits. So it's a great thing for having the program, but it's even a better thing that the community is benefiting from the programs.
And what you pointed out, we have been trying to make sure that these surviving spouses understand the benefit system. Because we were talking about the case that you referred, that came to you to the chapter with the 3 kids. We're waiting. Now that we done did the research, we know that they're eligible for the benefits. They done filed for them before so many times and been denied. Because the person that filed for them didn't do the research. They didn't do the homework necessary to file a winning claim. Now that we know that we can file a winning claim, they hesitating. You know, because they just done lost face because there's been so many bad claims filed for them.
But it's not just them. That's just one case. There are lots of cases where people were frustrated at the process of filing for the claim and literally just gave up. You know, now we've got to encourage those people. You have an opportunity to go back now and refile your claim for those benefits.
For those benefits.
Because the benefits are now opened up to more people, for more settings, for more situations.
And we got to remind them too that VA has gone online more than we are online. So what we're doing with the resources that's been set up in Fulton County, we're going to be able to put those situations in the community centers where you ain't got to worry about going online. Just go to your community center and you're online. To get the benefits, because if you don't know how to access and navigate it, you're going to get lost and frustrated. And we don't want you to do that to the point that you just walk away from your benefits, because I always say this, the benefits was for the veteran, his family, and the community. And if the veteran's not getting it, the family is suffering and the community is suffering. That's why it's important that we get the information to that, not just to the veteran, but to his family. You know, because I tell you, every time my sisters hear something about veterans, they call me. You know, my brother's a veteran. You know, they gonna call me. Did you know that this is happening? This is done. One day they saw us on TV, and they said, "Oh well, we don't call him no more. We need, you know, get out there and gonna get ourselves in trouble, running his mouth." But what we're looking at and trying to bring the community together is that we are better together. Really, you know, if we start relying on each other, sharing information, making sure the VA is not that complicated, right? But the process is complicated by personnel. Let me just tell you the truth. I worked there. I know. The incompetence level at VA is not due to the people that they're hiring. It's the way they're hiring them. You know, you'll be shocked that a large percentage of the VA employees don't have degrees. They don't even have bachelor's degrees. So that's a problem. You know, even though they got continuing education opportunities there, if you just finish high school and you start working and start getting, you know, you ain't gonna get back into that unless you got time, or they give you time to get back in that. So it's too few people are taking advantage of these opportunities. And what is happening with this mega crew, Trump, they don't mind shitting down the government because they don't recognize who works most for the government. They look like me.
Right.
So they don't have any problem with shutting down the government. But we don't elect people to go shut down the government. We elect people to go run the government. And we should make sure that people understand that this year, this election year, so as we go into the rest of 2024, and you know we're gonna be voting here in Georgia, right?
Yeah.
We're gonna be voting here in Georgia, and we need to give our votes some good sense. I'm talking to too many young people because they got a little income that is blinded by the misinformation that this mega crew is putting out in the community. We need to make sure that we are educating people about the PAC Act. You know, you don't hear nothing about the PAC Act on TV except for if they don't explain the fact that, okay, if you these are conditions that you might have already been diagnosed for, but they didn't service connect them because they weren't recognizing these etymology. Now that they're recognizing the etymology, you can go back and file for the claim and get benefits. So we got work to do because, you know, we need the whole community involved. You know, we need all veterans to tell your friends, tell your buddies, overcome the frustration. You know, just don't cheat your family. You know, get your benefits, because just because they've been denied, that don't mean that you can't reopen the case and get your benefits. So we're looking forward to seeing more people get to where we're at right now. The good thing, we need to talk about this too, Commissioner. We had one vendor, and this I want to talk about this vendor because I think we put the event on in the 5th District they provided mental health services that was just excellent. What happened, we didn't get enough veterans there. Okay. And we got to make sure that we get to this help. Because these people not only help you deal with, recognize the disabilities, they can diagnose. They can do medicals. Right. And that's critical when you're trying to get a VA claim through. So this was one of the vendors that came in as a result, and they got funded. And they did an excellent job. We're just hoping they get funded again because we didn't get enough veterans throughout the county. So what we are asking the county commission to look at making sure that these appointees to the Veteran Empowerment Commission are getting the information to the veterans in their districts.
Okay. And the commissioners too, right?
Yeah.
We need the commissioners and the board members that they've appointed to help get the word out.
Because see, we got too many veterans that are homeless that could be getting a check every month now. Right. We just got to get them in the process to where we can get them, in a predicament we can file a claim for them. And the opportunity is there. We got the platform, we got the resources to do it with. So we need to now get the word out, because even though it was excellent and all the veterans that came through this project was amazed and felt really impacted, they want more of it. We didn't get enough veterans in Fulton County that participate because they didn't know about it. They wouldn't, they didn't get the news. Those that got the news, they really appreciate it and looking forward to more, because it helps them navigate the mental illness issues that they're dealing with. So,
well, whatever we can do to help get the word out, we'll certainly do that.
Yes. Because now I wanted Valerie to talk. Because see, Valerie, brother. Now Valerie, I met Valerie, I guess about 15, maybe 20 years ago. She celebrates every Memorial Day with a celebration for her brother who was killed during the Vietnam War era. And he was one of those guys that was killed in a very suspicious way. We always say that the Vietnam veteran was fighting 3 wars at the same time. And one of them was racism. And it's unfortunate, a lot of our young people left and was killed not by the enemy on the other side, but the enemy from within. So we got to recognize that, because right now our young people are still going to the military, and the military still got some issues that we need to make sure being addressed. And racism is one of them. We got to just speak truth to power in order to do that. So, Valerie, I want to know what you feel about the Sons of Atlanta, because we've been working together for a minute.
Yes, I'm very excited to be here, and thank you, Commissioner, for all you have done to support our organization, and also Reverend McGee, for us staying connected through the years. And I am so pleased that now we have the approval to have the memorial at Piedmont Park. My brother was killed at 19 years old. You said your father was went to office in 69, sworn in 70. Well, my brother graduated high school in 69 and was killed in 70. So that was very touching to our family. And also at 19 years old, in that he was not on Vietnam soil, his name was not placed on the wall in Washington. So that's why I have tried every year to have something to memorialize him and allow people to understand the purpose of Memorial Day. A lot of times, when I'm putting on the event and out expressing to people, matter of fact, last year, I was out buying the fireworks, and I was explaining to the young man that, I was having this event for memorializing my brother, and he replied to me, well, tell him I said congratulations.
They don't have a clue. They don't know. They don't know about the sacrifices that gave them the freedom and the opportunity that they got now.
Yes. So this is very dear to my heart, and we will be having a benefit this year, May 26th at 7 p.m. Evening Under the Stars, and we like for people to come out and participate in this benefit because we are doing this campaign to purchase as many bricks as we can possibly purchase for the memorial at Piedmont Park. So we will be able to give you more details in upcoming weeks. But again, I guess you can see how my voice changed.
Mm-hmm.
It's still emotional. I'm 65, will be 66 next month, and my brother was killed at 12 when I was 12 years old, and it still, you know, affects me emotionally when I'm discussing it. So I really appreciate this opportunity for being here and having this opportunity to work with Reverend McGee and the Sons of Atlanta.
Thank you, Ben. Now, one of the things that we want to make sure that people understand, this program is always about veterans, talking to veterans and the community about all things veteran. And what we are here doing is kind of perplexing and comical if you think about it. We're concerned with the plight of veterans in the United States of America, and the United States of America with the plight of veterans. That meaning how we get the United States to accept the plight of veterans and address it. And I think our discussion with Commissioner and what he's done in response to us is what we're talking about when we say the USA with the plight of veterans. We don't have an issue that we can't solve. I remember you saying that, you know, give me something I can't do. you know, when we started off here. And it's amazing because the way this veteran service program was designed and focused, it automatically right away gave us a platform to work from. Now, what happened, we had some politics got in the way, you know, and we realized that the mega crew is not just elected officials. They got some people that are not elected officials that, you know, get in the mix. And we had some of that happen, but, you know, we just we didn't ignore it. We just went along with it, and they just left on their own accord because, you know, that's the way it is when you don't applaud the devil, you leave.
If you're not there for the right reason, if you're not there to serve the people, then you don't have the right motivation.
You don't have the right motivation.
You're not gonna hang around.
You're not gonna hang around. So now the commission is evolving to the point that I think we got a leadership core now that's gonna do what you initially envisioned for the commission to be able to do, is to grow this program, is to build a network and collaboration so that we can make sure that what we're trying to do for veterans in Fulton County, we get done in a way that it feeds generations, that we don't have any more homeless veterans in Fulton County. You know, that we don't have these kind of issues because we have marshaled the resources to the access of families. And one of the things that bothers me more than anything is that we got veterans, and I'm sure you done probably got calls that in the funeral home, they don't have insurance, they don't know who gonna bury them, and the VA offers a lot of help with that. Right. You know, so this is what we're gonna be able to bring to the community, let the community know about these things, because if a veteran come home sick or wounded, he's not able to communicate all these things to their families. Right. But the family got to deal with that illness, the mental illness. You know, I can remember when I first got home from Vietnam, my mom hurt my feelings. She said, "What's something wrong with you?" I said, "Wait a minute, I want to hear this. I'm a mama's boy now. Don't get it wrong. My mom was my best fan, but she didn't break bread when it came down to me. If she saw something that I need to deal with, she'd tell me." and would stick there with me until I did it. You know, if it had not been for her, I would have never went to the VA. Because I'm coming home from Vietnam wounded in combat. I got a Purple Heart for it. I'm grateful that I survived because I done seen people die on battlefield. So I'm grateful to be alive. Ain't nothing wrong with me, right? I didn't have no clue about PTSD. Not at the nation. I was wounded in 1968, the same month that Dr. King was assassinated. There was no recognition of PTSD in this country at that time. Until 1980, when they actually recognized PTSD. Right now, it's one of the most diagnosed mental disorders in the country.
Really?
With children being diagnosed with PTSD, stemming from domestic violence. And what we have allowed to develop in our communities, and we need to deal with it, is gun violence. It's traumatizing our children.
Yeah.
We need to make sure that this year, election, we need to look at people that don't want these guns so accessible, and that the gun owners become responsible for their guns. I'm a soldier, I'm a veteran. I'm not trying to talk about you don't need a gun. That's your prerogative under the Second Amendment, but you need to be totally responsible for it. In the military, you're totally responsible for your weapon. You let somebody get their weapon and hurt somebody, you're going to suffer the consequences. We need community servants like Commissioner to make sure that we're getting laws in place that's going to protect our children from gun violence and the trauma that's causing them to be diagnosed with PTSD before they start school.
Yeah, that's something certainly that if they're getting that diagnosed before they even start school and they already have that trauma, we definitely got to work to make sure that we have resources available for them so that they can be treated and get the care that they need. And in our community, we don't want to talk about needing mental health, right? There's a shame that comes with it, right? But it's okay. We all need help, Somebody said, I'm a little, I think it was a song, I'm a little crazy, but that means I'm just a little crazy so I won't go insane.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm going to tell you, I had to grow to accept what PTSD was. And it not only cost me, it cost my family. But the good part about it at a point where I was, I had learned how to manage my PTSD. Julian Barnes wrote a letter to the parole board for me. I forgot that he knew me, the way he knew me before I went into the military. And he just told the parole board that was not the young man that he knew. And I had to face it then, too, that I was not the young man that left Atlanta, Georgia. Right? I had contracted something that I needed to deal with. I needed to confront it. And when I confronted it, I realized it's not going to go away, but I can manage it. And I had examples that I saw who had to be traumatized. John McClain had to be traumatized.
Yeah.
But he became a U.S. Senator. Yeah. Max Cleveland had to be traumatized. But he did some great work before he became senator as the U.S. Department of Veteran Services. Mm-hmm. Just because you got PTSD don't mean you done lost it forever for loss. Yeah. All you need is some help. You can get people back on the right track, and they can still do their greatness. They can still be that community servant that they were born to be. It's just that the community has to recognize that and has to get these 22 veterans a day coming home committing suicide. Their families need to be equipped to recognize and get the resources necessary to help their family. My mom just kind of stayed on top of me. she just wouldn't give up. Because she kept saying, something wrong with you. She said, I know you. You can't tell me ain't nothing wrong with you. Something is wrong with you. Accept it. Let's deal with it.
Yeah. And that's always the first step, right? You got first they have to accept that something is wrong in order to be able to get to the next step of receiving the treatment that they need.
And absorbing that treatment into their behavior, into their thinking.
Yes.
You know, and into their motivations as well. I remember Dr. Jean Hendricks. She was the dean of students at Mercer University. She bought me a book called Man's. I forgot. This was Viktor Frankl's Man's Search for Meaning. Man's Search for Meaning. He was in a concentration camp where all his family was killed, and everybody wanted to know what gave him the motivation to keep living. You had to have something bigger than you. You're striving for something bigger and greater than you. You got to believe in something bigger and greater than you. So the Sons of Atlanta, Tony always say that this was divinely inspired, and you know I think it was because I carried it in my spirit ever since I came home. Because one of the people that I was closest to as growing up was killed in Vietnam. He went to my going into the military party. I went to his. And when I came home, they told me he was killed. They didn't want me to know that he had been KIA in Vietnam. If you look at see Lewis Herman on the wall, he died in April. He would have been 21 in November. You know, and it made me realize that Lewis didn't get to see a lot of the growth in this city that I seen. You know, but he died for it. He went believing that one day, people will be judged on the contents of their character rather than the color of their skin. He believed that they pledged allegiance to the flag. He knew it wasn't the truth right then, because he came out of Atlanta, Georgia. He wasn't fooled about it, but he believed that it could happen, and it is. I mean, look.
Yes.
It's happening. You know, we're already there. I think the biggest threat to the billionaires, autocrats, and that's what we're dealing with, is that we have so many people of color becoming billionaires. Since the 1960s, how many billionaires we made? That's what they're afraid of. You know, because that cuts into their control over us. That gives them, they take away their strength that they can manipulate the politics with their money. Elon Musk is going to try to manipulate the politics of America with his money. We got to show him that. My dad used to tell me, man, Elson, money don't make man. Man makes money. So don't never let nobody take a dollar and tell you what to do.
That's right.
You know?
That's right.
Because you can make the money that they can. You can do what they do. Don't think any less of yourself or any better than yourself. Just get out there and do your best. And that's what we try to do here. And when we can get our commissioner on and look at what he's done. We're not just talking about somebody that just showed up, y'all. we talking about a national calendar. You know, now I call them national, and they done ran out of the calendars. It's like Vietnam veteran is in every state of the union. We have over 500,000 members, and all of them got the calendars. And we was able to get one. But this one going to the commissioner though. We got some other calendars coming because we want to thank you. You know,
that was a great day. I'm just glad we finally got it done. And again, rocking and rolling. You guys are doing a great job, and I appreciate the work that you're doing because really who better than a veteran to understand the nuances that are needed and the gaps, right? Because everybody is, throwing money, right? Everybody's throwing money in people, but unless you have someone that understands where the gaps are and what's missing and what's not, then you're not going to be able to really serve the people. So
you're not going to have an impact.
You guys are standing in the gap.
Yeah.
So
yeah, well, it's because of, community people like yourself that give us the opportunity and that got our backs and listen to us and give us the opportunity. Everybody don't think we're crazy, because sometimes, people think that veterans, or especially our generation, and we were kind of radical for thinking that we could go to war and come back heroes. That's what a lot of us thought we were doing. We thought we were going to go right off in the sunset, come back and, you got to take a parade. We didn't think that people were going to be throwing eggs at us and spitting on us, but we overcomers. And that's what makes a difference. We are overcomers. I like to hear Tony talk about his little hometown. But because it's our hometown. I mean, you got East Point, College Park, all these. You can't get into Atlanta unless you come through one of these.
Cities, right.
So they are Atlanta.
Fulton County.
They're Fulton County, and to look at the values of people that grew up when we was growing up in Fulton County, we know that's what made us what we are today. The kind of community values we had, where we looked out for each other, and we got behind the positive growth in our community. I would like to see Fulton County get behind this, get these guns out of my community, especially automatic weapons. I don't think the Constitution give you the right to AR-15. That's a war weapon.
Right.
It's a war weapon. We don't need no war weapon in the streets of Atlanta, Georgia. And especially in the hands of our youth. When we start thinking about 13 and 14-year-olds getting shot down in the streets of Atlanta, we know we got a crisis. Because I went all over the west side. I think I was in high school when I got ran out over to Howard High School. Wasn't nobody trying to kill me. Wasn't nobody trying to kill me. I know when I had a part-time job in Stone Mountain, my mama told me I had to quit it because she didn't want me out there because I didn't think that much of the Ku Klux Klan until I saw that big old fire. Then I said, oh, well, Mama right, I'm going to give up this job, but a 16-year-old, we was adventurous. We didn't have no problem with, venturing outside of the black community, going and try to access opportunity. And that's all it was about. I can remember guys going to the Gulf Coast to caddy. They just venture outside the community.
Right.
Now we're deciding what's going on in that community. We got to say so at the table.
Yes.
That's a blessing. That's a blessing that we should be thankful for every day when we can look at in our governments and see servants in our governments that got the community interest at heart. Because we got too much of this stuff that we see in the Republican Party. And Tim Scott, is he real? Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. Let me leave that alone. I want to know if he's real, but
Real something. I don't know what that something is, but
real something. But we got to be thankful for what we got. We can laugh about stuff like that, but we know seriously, this is 2024. With all the rhetoric of this little small group of magnets, and now I'm gonna say the media done made this bigger than what it is. You ain't got that many white folks that's gonna go with this stuff. You probably got 60 or 70 million of them, but we can beat them so bad they go back into the cubby hole. And the way we beat them, Malcolm said it all, and I hope we were listening. It's gonna be the bullet or the ballot. Because we not ready to accept what they gonna impose if we don't use the ballot. We not ready to go back there.
Yeah, he tried to stay in there. he attempted a coup the first time to stay in there. What you think he's gonna do
If he get elected
if he
again.
get back in there?
And I'm gonna tell you something, but I thank him for one thing: exposing the hypocrisy that we have allowed to elevate in government.
Yes.
I would never thought Mitch McConnell was a coward. I would never thought that. You know, I mean, I didn't like his politics because what he did to Barack.
But they're all scared of him, and which is why he's taking over their whole party.
Yeah,
It's unfortunate that they won't. That very few will actually stand up, like Mike Pence and Brad Raffensperger and Governor Kemp here. Actually stand up for democracy, for America.
For America.
America first.
America first, yeah. And this now he's openly flirting with autocrats who's feeding them money. Openly. You know, I mean, Don Jr. said it 2 years ago that they didn't need no money from nowhere else because they got everything they need from Russia. I ain't heard nobody else say that.
I was gonna say that. How much money did they owe Russia? So much money, and so beholden to Russia and Putin and them oligarchs.
He bought his soul. Hopefully, Georgians gonna send him a message.
Well, and then you saw a day or two after he said he would tell Russia and Putin to do whatever they want to, they killed that man.
Yeah.
A day or two after that, he said, "I tell them to do whatever they want to,"
and they killed him.
And they killed that man 2-3 days later.
Yep.
Yeah, because they're approaching an election. See, so he was still a threat to Putin, even though he was locked up. And that's what Donald Trump think he can do here. I mean, actually, he got some kind of delusion that he can take over this country and treat it like it's his footstool. He don't realize the sacrifice that we made, we're still willing to make sacrifices. And I know the veterans that I know going to the poll like they never went to the poll before. We're gonna vote like there's no tomorrow. Not that we're Democrats, we're Americans. You know, we're Americans. We just gonna vote for the democracy, for the opportunity to see brothers like this in government. Because if we don't, we ain't gonna see that no more. That'll be over because he'll purge every one of them inside, some of them assassinated. You think we're gonna let that happen? 700,000 in the state of Georgia. We know that some of them ain't gonna come out the woods, but they can die in the woods too. You know, it's not something that I'm willing to honor, dishonor these guys, these 240 from my hometown, my homeboys. I'm not gonna dishonor them by not working in this election year. Whatever I got to do to help make sure that this democracy stand, we doing it. Because we see how it can work. You know, if we let it work, we can see how it can work. When I went in the military in 1967, there was no blacks in politics in this city, this county. They was just getting ready to start coming into it and taking it to where it is now. And the improvement, the growth of this city got to be a credit to that influx of new mindset, new determinations. You know, that's why we will always value your dad for helping build this city. He helped build this city to where it is today. And we can't forget it. You know, on their shoulders, we got a lot of sons of Atlanta shoulders we can stand on, man.
Yeah.
That done did stuff that we shouldn't. You think you're gonna let us? We ain't sacrificing this. Come on, you know, get real. We're not finna let you take this away from us.
Like Jose Williams was gonna let you take it.
Listen, Jose told me, he said, listen, don't give up. Just don't give up. That was when Earl Shinholster, Ruby Hurley, all them people were fighting to get me out of prison. Just to get me out of prison. They couldn't understand how you can come home from Vietnam in a few months and get life without the possibility of parole. Well, the devil they ain't have, but God make results. See, everything happened for a reason. Sometimes you had to be groomed for what you do. You had to be purpose for what you do. And grooming sometimes is pruning. Had to cut away a lot of that stuff. And get that PTSD back in control. Get my daddy's son back to his senses and my mama's boy back to the table. We are doing what we was born to do. Be a son of Atlanta. Become a part of that special core of men that help build this city. That made it what it is. And gonna keep it.
Yeah.
We're gonna keep it. Because we got too much history. We can look at too many people and say, man, I think about Manor sometimes standing on the corner of Deal and Cascade. Right down the corner of Deal and Cascade. I live right around the corner. But I go up there, Manor standing on the corner. Mayor, he didn't care, he was in his hood. Because he knew he was doing what he was doing for his hood.
Right.
So he didn't need no security. Jose didn't need no security. Mess with Jose if you want to. So we're blessed. What we got to do is just stand on the fact that we're sons of Atlanta. Right now we're just building this memorial in Piedmont Park. We're saying this Vietnam War Memorial. But we're going to make it the Sons of Atlanta War Memorial. Because every time somebody from this city make the ultimate sacrifice, we're going to recognize them.
Yes.
We don't care what era it is.
Right.
We got to do that. We got to stand with the Sons of Atlanta because they're why we got our freedoms.
Yes.
It's something to remind us that, buddy, that's too big a sacrifice for us to take. I ain't gonna take the hit. Can't do it. But this is all this stuff is coming together, Commissioner. We look at what you did and some of the things you said to us, and we say, man, and me and Tony be laughing about it sometimes. It was like we've been in a lot of meetings, man, all across Fulton County. We are all out in DeKalb County and Clayton County, and we're building bridges.
Yes. Building
bridges. And pretty soon we're gonna be able to make sure that some of them clowns up under the Golden Dome, they gotta go.
Yes. We got to get some action. All this partisan stuff.
Yeah, we got to get people that want to.
It's too much. The far right and the far left need to go.
They need to go.
The middle is the way. Is the path forward.
Mm-hmm. And we shouldn't be bashful with saying that. You can't go too far to the left unless you run off the road. You can't go too far to the right unless you run off the road.
That's right.
Everybody is in the middle, and most of the people want that. They want that, but they open to the way they see government working right now, and right now
or not working.
You're right. You're right. Or not working, man. Because we have watched it not work, but now that it's working. Listen, man. We got for the first time in the history of the Supreme Court, we got a black woman on the Supreme Court.
Yes.
And she ain't no sucker either. She got the heart of a Thurgood Marshall.
Yes.
She got the heart of a Thurgood Marshall, man. Thurgood messed him up. But what we got to do is keep holding on to our faith and our history. And because it is America. Black history is American history.
Yes.
And we need to make sure that people understand it with this memorial. Because all the faces on there are the faces of the community. They know we didn't go out to do a black memorial. We went out to do a veteran memorial.
Yes.
And that's what the community need now. They need to come together behind this sacrifice and start making sense out of our government. Because we done seen what government can do and what it can't do. It can't function when you got a bunch of clowns that don't want it to function.
That's right.
2 minutes. Oh, wow. Okay. All right. I want to give these 2 minutes to that commissioner, man.
No, again, I'm just thankful for your service, thankful and blessed to have the opportunity to be able to, begin to attempt to return the favor for our veterans, right? By making sure that they and that the organizations that serve them have the resources that they need. Commissioner Natalie Hall is one of my partners, and really can't get anything done without her on the commission. And so certainly thankful for her and to the other commissioners that voted to support it at the time. And we're gonna keep on. We need to be expanding. I wish we could go from 1 million to 2 million, right? But maybe we can get some other counties. If we get the top 10 counties all giving $1 million, we can get up to 10 million.
Yeah. Now I'm gonna tell you something else too. Go back to the way you created the commission as a nonprofit, right? The VA put out $57 million for suicide prevention. We could have got $10 million from that in a grant.
Right.
See, we got to go back to that part of what the commission was set up to do and get it activated to do, because we can help bring in fundings to work Fulton County.
Okay.
We can bring in fundings where we can actually help Atlanta and the other cities. That's what we should be, that catalyst to go out and bring those resources there, because they got organizations that's giving out millions of dollars for homelessness.
Right.
We should be able to get some of that money for Fulton County veterans to work on this veteran service program.
Yes.
So that's what we're looking forward to.
Okay.
So you done laid it out, Commissioner. We're gonna work it. We're gonna work it. Like you say, you got a crew here that's gonna work it. Tony won't leave me alone, man. And that's the good part, because he covers me like a brother, like a soldier. When I fall down, he got the gun, he got the bat.
Well, our veterans deserve every bit of it, and certainly glad that you guys got each other's back, right?
Yeah.
Like you say, can't serve without your family.
Can't serve without your family. Can't serve without your family. So we're thankful.
Yeah, and we're glad to have you a part of the family.
Yes.
And so we want to say thank you to the veterans for their efforts, and especially thank you for your efforts, because you have made a difference in the veterans community here in Atlanta, recognizing those veterans who paid the ultimate price. So we encourage everybody next week, same place, same time, talking about Veterans Affairs, those things that affect veterans' lives and their families.
You can follow us on Facebook. Okay, and they want to follow us on Facebook. Like us on Instagram or whatever. We're all over the internet. So next Saturday, be here with us. Thank you.